And I understand from talking with you before the show a little bit that sometimes you bring the Puppet Show Place out into the community too. Can you comment a little on that? What kind of places they have been through the years?
Yeah, so we will send puppeteers out to schools, libraries, individual homes, various community events and organizations.
Yeah.
As Roxy mentioned, we now have a new artist in residence, Brad Schur.
Yes.
And Brad's actually a resident of Rhode Island and comes up to the show place regularly to perform, but we also send him out everywhere in between to put on his shows.
And I was talking about the community within puppeteers, and right now Brad is working with Paul Vincent Davis to learn some of his shows to be able to carry on this tradition, and it's really wonderful to see them working together at Puppet Show Place. Paul is he's older now, but and has retired from performing, but he's working with this person who's young and full of energy and really devoted to working hard on the craft, and it really just brings you back to this sort of apprentice-master relationship, and that's something that we're carrying on at Puppet Show Place Theater.
That's wonderful. My wife reminded me that one of the people from Puppet Show Place actually came to our house and did a birthday party for my oldest daughter years and years ago. And the point I wanted to ask you about that I remember from the experience there at our house is how much joy it brings to the children. And I wonder if you could comment a little bit about just what you've both observed in terms of children's reactions and the impact on them.
Sure. Well, one thing that I'm doing now coming into Puppet Show Place and trying to learn the scene is just seeing as many shows as I can and talking to as many audience members, both children and adults, as I can. And many of the puppeteers invite the children to participate in the shows, and that is it's so wonderful and breathtaking to hear their responses, because even though a puppeteer may be explaining to children so they're not afraid, for example, okay, this is not real, even though it might be a scary monster puppet or a dragon. It's not real. I'm right here. But then once they walk behind the screen, the children get so absorbed in the story, and often they participate and vocalize, "Oh, that bad cheetah, he's going to get in trouble." And you hear them afterwards in the lobby talking about how much they enjoyed the show, and it becomes something they can bring home and start a conversation with their families about and talk to their friends. So, for me, the best puppet shows are ones that they strike something in your memory or in your heart, and they stay with you.
Just to add on to what you said, my own feeling watching some of them, one of the things I love so much about the stuff that you do there is that you're also, there's education going on in a way too, and there's values a lot of times in the interactions that are being displayed, and emotions. Kids learn so many kinds of things from this, I think. You want to add to that, but that's what I see.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of the performers that we present, they also perform on their own out in schools and libraries, and so they built in a very educational component to their shows. But it is this amazing tool, as Roxy said. These kids pick up on things, whether it's the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, or it's character development that they take away and they take it home with them and develop that.
Right.
Yes.
And kids are smart. I mean, that's one thing that has really struck me. Going to a theater, the honesty of an audience of children. It's very different from other kinds of theatrical performance where people might, follow some sort of convention when watching a show. The kid, if it strikes them, they react, and that's one of the most wonderful things about watching the theater.
Do either of you have a favorite of the shows that you've seen so far or done?
I was having dinner with some puppeteers the other night, and that's a common question they get.
Yes.
And their response is always, "Well, the one we just did."
Of course, that makes sense.
So it's the one that's going on right now at the Puppet Show Place.
Funny thing about that. I get that.
Yeah, they're all really fantastic, and you can find something wonderful with each one. We just presented a group from Bar Harbor, Maine. Frogtown Mountain Puppeteers, and they're a really whimsical, funny troupe.
I love the name.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't have a favorite because they're all fantastic.
Right.
Wow. What are you guys doing in terms of the year of celebration? Are there special things going on because of that?
Yeah, we have been celebrating all year, and we're going to keep celebrating for as long as we can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
35 years is a long time. So
it sure is. It's a wonderful thing to be proud of.
It is. Well, we're very proud that we just received a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts for $10,000 to facilitate our Mary Churchill Memorial Fund. Mary Churchill passed away in 1997, and on the 10th anniversary of her passing, we created a program to help fund low-income, underserved children and bring them to the Showplace. So it was fantastic.
Great to hear that.
Yeah, on our 35th anniversary, to receive this grant for $10,000 to bring in these kids. There's nothing better that we could do in our anniversary year.
I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad for people in Newton to hear what, there's so many wonderful things that you guys are doing. A question to finish up, I want to ask you, for people that are watching that may be either interested in volunteering or helping out with a place like yours that's doing all these great things, and or people, you mentioned you started as a teenager, people who have interest in this, really get excited by it. What kind of suggestions would you give for them in terms of if they wanted to learn more, maybe develop some skills and even maybe a career someday?
Sure. Well, that's a great question, Todd, because if some people are interested, we want them to come through our doors. So
good.
The first thing I'd say is just see a show and see as many shows as you can, because knowing puppetry by seeing it is really the best way. We also have memberships at the theater, and that really helps us to sustain our operations. So there's more information about that on our website.
Which, by the way, you're seeing on the screen the phone number and that.
And beyond that, we welcome volunteers to come to the theater with their various interests. As I mentioned, on Tuesdays we have the incubator, and if people have shows at any stage of development or really at any stage of expertise, we welcome people to come and participate in that. And then just, my door's always open, and we'd love people to come in.
Are there any courses or any things that people can take that are interested in learning more about how to do puppetry?
They are, and they exist through, just meeting a puppeteer who has a certain skill that you'd like to learn is one option. We also, like through the incubator, can teach specific skills. And then at different art schools around Boston, there's also opportunities to learn puppet craft technique.
Wonderful. Well, Chris and Roxy, you guys have been wonderful guests, and what you're doing is terrific. You have a lot to be proud of, and I'm just really glad you came to share it with everybody today.
Well, thank you.
So thanks again for coming. And for our audience, thank you again for watching another Sunny Side of the Street, and we hope you'll watch us real soon. We'll be on again. Thanks again. Take care, everybody. Leave your worry on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear a pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny, sunny, sunny side of the street.